Right, what's happening, guys? So the video that you've been waiting for is Return of the Lemon. So, I mean, we're not going to get anyone's knickers in a twist. It's all fucking banter, but people have took it the wrong way. I've tried to show people what happens when it goes wrong, basically, but people have decided to twist it, say that I think that I'm going to be buying an absolutely perfect car. I didn't expect that, but when you're getting told, yeah, it's mint, it just needs a few interior bits doing, we think that the bottom mount needs a new bushing it, it's a bit weak, and then you start pulling it apart, or should I say, you get it home and it cuts out, you start pulling it apart and then you find loose engine mounts, bolts that aren't tight, earth's not connected, wires sliced that shouldn't be sliced, and I've had to go through and correct it all. Some of it I've recorded, some of it I haven't, because it's rather being too dark, it's been pissing it down, I don't want to fucking break the camera, and I've just got on with it. So here's part one. Right, you go in, put key in, son, pumps priming, alt lights work, not in gear, go to crank, lights don't go off, but don't know if you can see that, it dims a bit, but that's it, that's what it's doing. So, but there's power there. Right. Right, that'll do. So it's turned off now, and now battery's creeping back up, so there's a drain from, I'm guessing, the alternator. Right guys, what's happening? So I'm not going to be documenting, well, I'm going to be documenting doing this, but yeah, I'm not going to be going like mad with like showing you the full process of what I'm doing. I'm going to take it apart, show you videos of what I've got up to, and do it that way. So we started the car up this morning, got it bump started, put the voltmeter on the battery. Before we got it started, it was showing around 12.3 to 12.4. Once it was started and running, it was showing like it had a power drain. So it was showing 11.7 volts, 11.6, it was flicking between the two. So yeah, it's looking like it's something to do with the alternator or the starter motor is stuck. I can't get into the back of the engine because it's that tight, so the only way I'm going to be able to do it is literally by dropping the engine, which I'm going to have to do anyway, to swap the mounts and put solid mounts in. Obviously it's about 1 degree, slipping into minuses a bit later on, and it's getting dark by about 4ish. So I'm time limited, and obviously I don't want to be going out first thing on the morning when it's like -2 and everything's frozen over. So I've got like between 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock, so it's not like a massive time frame. And obviously if the ground's piss wet through, it makes it even worse. So yeah, I'm just going to be spending some time doing this over like the next week. Hopefully I get it sorted. I think the solution is going to be, when I get it jacked up, see if there's any loose wires to the alternator. If there is, try connect them back up, try see if it starts up on its own power then, and go from there. If not, I'm just gonna probably take the alternator off and the starter motor, replace the pair, and then it should be fine. Or I might put it back together with these new parts and still find it's got a drain somewhere else, and then I'll probably throw a towel in and pull it apart. But yeah, we'll see how we go. As I say, I'm gonna get it jacked up, see if there's any loose connectors to the alternator, or if I can see anything like a bad earth. But I've already connected an earth from the side of the engine to the frames just to try take out that it's a bad earth. So it's got to be something like a power cable or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna get to it, guys, and see what we can find. So we're into the first part of this mint build, and as you can see, we've got a 10mm and an 8mm holding the bumper on. Fucking mint, that son. Right, so I'm just on the process now of, well, I've got both sides jacked up now. It's literally just off the floor. I don't want it too high because I want the car to stay level, so when I pull the engine, I can just drop it down a tiny bit, pull it out way to where I need it. But yeah, we've got axle stands on both the fronts, one dump wheels. I just need to these are actually off of the floor, so I just need to undo the wheel nuts, take them off, get the bolts off the back of the bumper. I'm actually surprised it's got them in. Same with the other side, get them off on here. They're just behind here. I need to get the wheels off to get good access to them. And yeah, we can start pulling bumper off and all intercooler and everything else. I'll keep you updated. So this side wheel's off. I know it's got a shimmy in there for the V6 brakes to fit on. So that's in there. It's not ideal, but it works. It's no fucking cable tie or Holt to hold the CV fucking tubing on. That's got a split as well. So yeah, that's mint, lad. That's absolutely fucking mint. So it's been spraying all shit all over back up wheel, as you can see. So yeah, that's mint. On plus side, there's no movement in tracker ends or out like that, so that's a plus. FK coilovers, bit looks of it, they just need a right good jet wash, so I'll have to get jet wash it all in here at some point. But yeah, FK coilovers, I know it's got some on back from when I were on the car, so it's nice to see that it's got some on front. But yeah, that's gonna have to need sorting. I'll pull the other wheel off and see what that's like. Can you imagine? Right, I've driven this down fucking motorway, mind. Are you a fucking dickhead? Are you an absolute fucking dickhead? Can you see that? Fucking bottom control arm's not even fucking tight, mate. Are you taking a fucking piss? So that's where all fucking movement's coming from. Got the fucking state. Right, I'm just going to try pin camera here, just so you can see how much movement this has got. See. Let's stick that there. Right, I'm hoping you can see this on camera. Look. Am I messing? Am I actually messing here? I think you're taking piss, mate. So car's been sat on drive now in a dry area for maybe what, 35-40 minutes, and we've got a leak. I've had a look underneath. It's coming down from the intercooler pipes. I thought, oh, it might be water. Put my hand in it. Look, it's like fluid, it's not water. So I've had a look down, and as you can see right there, it's coming out of the power steering fluid. So we've got a leak on that as well. Luckily there seems to be no other leaks. So I'll have to, when I drop the engine down, I'll have a look. It might just not be tight, or it might have a split in it, or the bottom of the housing might be cracked where it's been tightened too much. But from when I looked, it has dropped down, so that's not just happened overnight as well. So yeah, fucking top stuff, mate. So just about getting there now. Undone intercooler off a front crash bar. Found radiator just, it's literally loose, just hanging there, you know, like you do. So gonna rip all that off. Everything off, arms, tie rod, well not tie rods, but all good stuff off. Whole intercooler, water piping, everything's off. Found a few stray wires. All wires seem to be attached onto the back. Same again on this side, all off. So nice and clear to drop the engine down. So yeah, it's just a couple of wires. Gear connector, engine mounts, downpipe, and then she'll come off. Well, she'll come out. So everything's stripped, just got all the injector harness and throttle position sensor, everything is all out. It were all tucked right at back. All map sensor, it were all fucking twisted all around everything. Managed to untangle all that, so we've got some nice straight fucking wires now. There were an earth cable that we found right under the manifold, which was a bit of a fucking pain in the ass to get to. It's getting a bit dark now, so gonna call it a night. We've got the back gearbox mount off and the selector, so it's just a case of the front mounts, and then we can lower it down. So update, same from last video. We're on next day now, we're running out of some light. Everything's off. Loom, all pipes that we can see that are going to get in way as we're dropping it down. We just need to undo them 3 bolts there on the gearbox, and then obviously take them out so I can make them into solid mounts, and then undo these 3 bolts here. The wiring loom in question that got frayed into is the light loom, which is literally stuck it right there, right under the pulley. It was supposed to be cable tied out way, and not being able to touch it, but as you can clearly see, it's just chewed straight into it. So yeah, I don't know why you haven't routed it in front of the radiator across here, and then you've got a little hole here that runs up through chassis leg and background. There's more than enough wire on this to do that. So the plan of action is I'm going to mark up around this pulley here, as you can see with how close it is. So I'm going to mark a nice gap up around this, smack that in, because what you'd normally do is you'd smack this in before you drop the engine in, or you'd have a piece cut out and then re-welded. So yeah, the plan of action is, because we've got the water pump in the way of the pulley, we're going to have to undo all the mounts. The rear one's already done. Lift the engine up to get to the bolts, and then obviously the full thing, then I'll come down onto the floor, and then we'll have access to get to this wiring loom, because obviously that's jammed between pulley and frame, so I can't do naught with that at a minute until it's dropped. So yeah, just gonna crack on. Right, so I've literally just taken that mount off, as you can see. Yeah, sound that, innit? The bolts are pretty tight, but that's just, yeah, fucking shocking, man. It's off. Apparently this were a brand new rubber mounting along with brand new mounts, and as you've just seen, it was loose, and if it was a brand new mount, that wouldn't be perished all the way through, like I told him 3 times. But you can tell anyway, because when he's done respray, it's got overspray on it. So yeah, top man. Right, so we've undone these were literally hands tight. I could have undone them with my fucking knob. If you look at that, apparently it's had new rubber mounts, this. Oh, it looks like it, that, son. Fucking hell. Looser than a fucking nun's cunt. Look at that, it's all fucking ripped and everything. Apparently it's brand new, that, though. Doing well there, son. Look at that. So engine's tilted now. Just getting into it back. Started pulling wires off the alternator and found this. So there's not many wires actually going to alternator. That's torn, and yeah, so that's good, isn't it? So alternator and starter are both going to be coming off. I'm going to send alternator to get tested just to make sure it's working correctly. Starter motor, we're going to take that off and I'll bench test that. I'll stick 2 wires to it, see if it's working right. If not, I'll stick another one on it as well. I might as well do it whilst we're at this point, stick some fresh stuff in it, and then obviously sort this wiring out, because that really isn't going to do fuck all.
That's for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've got what? We've got frayed wire, which has got like what, 6 connectors. Fucking, it's not got much on it. We've got that there, where rubber's just being pulled out, sub wire's being put in. So obviously it leaves all in a dash loom to rub on frame. Yeah, nice.
Good for you.
So this is what as New Year's come to. This is some of the parts and bits that we've got. Say hello to the cat and all the kids' toys. So yeah, this is what we've come to. We've got us resin in there. We've got us top engine cover, which is going to be sprayed. What we've got in here? Oh yeah, we've got an engine mount. We've got a breather catch can in this one, if we can get it open. It's in there. I've already put a photo on Instagram anyway. Gear knob, which is pretty snazzy.
Better than your one, what you've got to make it.
Yeah, at least it's not like 2 centimetres tall. We've got us mixing tub, we've got some sandpaper, spray paints, plastic primer, uprated sway bar. The only thing I can really tell the difference on these at the minute is the weight. They seem a lot lighter. But yeah, so I've obviously been comparing it to a standard one to the uprated one. We've got the control arms, which are going to be getting sanded back, primed and painted. We've got some Morits here. Just pulled these out to mainly have a look at them at the minute, to see what state they're in, but they look alright. We're not right bothered about these centre lenses. They are cracked, but we're not going to be using them anyway. The outer lenses look good. Engine mounts, they're going to be getting sanded back and repainted. And then obviously we've got a new belt. Couldn't get a pulley, searched all over for it, got hard and blue. and some other colours. Sneaky peek.
Go everywhere.
So yeah, that's our night. Right, so I've got 2 of the mounts there, and I have got the resin that I'm going to be filling the gaps in with, which is this Polycraft SG2000 PU casting resin. Everyone uses these to make these engine mounts a lot stiffer. It's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill any gaps in. I'm going to use the cardboard that they come in, tape it round them, obviously to stop it pissing out from underneath it. I'm going to get some tape over these so we don't get none of the resin in, or help stop getting any of the resin in. Fill all the gaps in, and then I'll do the same with the other side as well once it's dried for about 10 minutes, because it should start going solid. And then same with that one as well. Do the back of that. As I say, this is a 1-to-1 mixing. Takes about 2 to 3 minutes for it to start hardening up, so I've got to work fast. So if I don't record that, don't get annoyed. But I'll show you a bit more of the process. So I've taped all the holes off and taped the holes off on there. As you can see, I've made like a little makeshift cardboard casting, so it's blocked that side off just to give it a bit more meat around these edges, and this edge here blocked it off. And obviously we're going to be filling this. I'm going to fill this so it's literally flat with the top of this rubber here. As you can see, it's just slightly indented down, so I'll make sure that it fills it so it's nice and flat. And then I'll take all this off after probably about 15-20 minutes, maybe a bit longer depending how fast it dries, and then do the same with the back. But as you can see, I filled all the little holes in, so obviously we shouldn't get no leaks, hopefully, but that's why we've got this down. And as I say, I'll fill that one up to the top, all level with this centre triangle bit, and then do the same with the back. I've just taped it up just to make sure that don't get no leaks through there. But once that's dry, I'll turn it round, do the same with that one. Right, so I'm just mixing this up now. I've just put the first part in, which is this right here, the darker stuff. So I've done 150 mils. It's 1-to-1 ratio, so I'll have to put another 150 in, take it up to 300, and that's half of each. Give it a good stir. Got about 3 minute pot life, so I'll wait for it to start thickening up, and then I'll pour it in right fast. I'm not going to get it on camera, but yeah, I'll show you when it's done. Right, so that's the resin poured in. Absolute work of art. I am genius. Got a bit of spillage there. I caught it just as it started going hard, as you can see. You can tell because it starts going really, really, really mad hot. And it's still really mad hot now. Like to the point where I can't even touch the bottom of that. But so yeah, you want to catch it until it starts reacting, starts going warm. You'll start feeling it thicken up. Obviously I poured it in, it's spilt a tiny bit out at the bottom, but that's out of that little makeshift rig there, which was hardly nothing. That looks like it'd probably come out of factory like that. It's also paintable, so what I'll do is I'll leave this set overnight, and then I'll take all the tape off. Still got to fill this side, I'll take tape off at the back, and then fill all these gaps in behind here, and then paint it all up. A bit of matte black or something, that's what that's for. Paint it with a bit of matte black, and same again with this. Take all this casting off at the side, turn it over, and then do the back. So yeah, I'll keep on going. Yo guys, what's happening? So we're on another day. I had a break, couldn't be arsed of it, you know what I mean? So spent a couple of days doing car. It's now fully stripped. The car, or should I say the engine, is separated fully from the car. It's just held by a jack. Pulled it to one side out of the way so I can literally get to everything. Smashed
just smashed it out, literally pulled the fucking thing fully apart, full nut and bolt jobs happening on it. Gonna tidy everything up. So yeah, I'm now on the way to Euro Car Parts, because I think I found a pulley for this, because as I say, the engine mounts were fucked, and it was allowing this to hit on the frame, and as you can see, it's damaged it. So I'd just rather get a new one whilst it's apart, and I'll put this to the side, keep it as a spare just in case. It is shafted, but if I shaft the other one or it breaks or whatever, at least I've got something else just to throw on for the time being. But yeah, I wanted new parts on. So it's currently just started snowing. We're on Saturday. I had New Year's Eve, New Year's Day off. I just wanted to spend a bit of time with family instead of just fucking about with car, because I spent about 3.5 days on it, to get it fully apart. That's like literally everything off, like all the mounts, exhaust, manifold. Took manifold off just to ease to get down to the alternator and starter motor. Found a couple of frayed wires and stuff, as you've probably seen. So yeah, as I say, whilst it's apart, I'm just gonna freshen it up, get like all new bolts, nuts, if I can. Obviously we're struggling with coronavirus, and it's that time of year where nothing's open. So yeah, I'm just gonna get some stuff babbling on now. Yeah, let's do this. Right guys, so I've just been into Euro Car Parts. I was looking for one of these for quite a while. They weren't even showing them on Euro Car Parts website. You try search for them on part numbers, they bring up as the centre pulley, or tensioner. So they're a bit of a bastard to get hold of. But if you have got a SAAB B204 and you need one of these idler pulleys, I've just found one at Euro Car Parts, and this was £15. Now if you look anywhere else on the internet, you're going to be paying £30 upwards. So if you need one of these, Euro Car Parts, the part number is there, 326220390, bin 11D24, and it's an inner drive belt guide deflect. I don't even know what car it's off or anything, but it looked the same, the dimensions were the same, but it went under a SAAB part. So that's the list price, and then it came up with the New Year discount. Obviously you can get discount codes, and I paid $15.27 for it. So I've saved myself some fucking money there, as seeing as they were all coming up with what is it, stupid amounts. I was still on the same day that I went to Euro Car Parts. What's the saying? Adapt, evolve, overcome, or something daft like that. Evolve, adapt, evolve, overcome. So we're using car cover, got bonnet up, got this around me because it's like it's snowing and sleeting. So I've made me send, grab this, made me send like a little tent to work in. The build will continue. So yeah, you've seen my little tent that I'm working in. It's fucking laughable, innit? You know what I mean? I'm in my little waterproof pants, and obviously UkBoost merch. If you want to hit some of that, get on his UkBoost merch page, and obviously contact one of the admins and they'll sort you out as swiftly as possible. It supports shit like this, you know, like this. So the plan on the agenda today, as you've seen, I've got the pulley. I'm not really concentrating on that, I just want to double check that it is going to fit on the bearing, side. So I'll be trying that, seeing if the mount needs any more shaving off to fit, because it like dips around. One that'll show you, because it dips round here. So I just want to make sure that obviously this dip's going to sit in the chassis leg that dips as well. If not, I'll shave a bit more off. As you can see, I've already shaved some off, just to make it make the clearance. I think it might need a bit more just here, and then I'll paint these up so they're all black. But they came out really good, to be quite honest with you. I'm happy with them. Nice and smooth, so yeah, I'm really happy with them. So the agenda is try see if this fits. If it doesn't, I'll shave some more off of it. I'll get a grinder. You need to use a grinder this, because it's that solid as this stuff that you need something to give it a right good thing in, going over. So I'll have to take that up, get it in vice, and cut some more off, which you can see it's probably going to need it, just so obviously it goes a bit more of a rounder line. So I just want to see if this pulley fits. Where's the pulley? Oh, I've left it in house, dickhead. Right, I'll be back with you. You're seeing this, lads, this is dedication being in this. I'm not kidding, it is snowing, so yeah, dedication. I've just run in now and got hold of the pulley, so I've got the pulley here, and obviously the old frayed one here. So I'll show you what I've done to stop it from fraying like that, what should have been done in the first place. So obviously it's like I said, this engine, I've just got it tilted forward, got a small jack on that side, a bigger one in middle at sump, pulled the engine forward and down a bit out of the way. Obviously we've stripped back the full wiring loom, as we've found a lot of it's an elf loom, but honestly I don't think it's fuck all to do with him. It's the goon that's fitted it. There's nothing wrong with that loom, we haven't found no problems at all, but obviously we found shit like this. So this is ABS wire, as you can see that's been hit by the engine or something at some point. So I'm going to have to take that back a bit, see if there's any damage to the wires. Also what I have done when I pulled all these wires out of the way, this pulley, where is it, sits on here, just right here on this here, and when this engine's been back, a lot of people knock these in a bit, or they'll cut them out and re-weld them. I've always found if you put solid mounts in and you take these back ½ inch or so, they won't hit. So it's what I've done. I've used the old body shop method, so you get a ballpoint hammer, and then get another hammer and whack it against it, and you can alter the shape of any metal basically to how you want it. So these normally will come up here, as you can see it's curved there. These normally curve, come back in, curve, come back in, and then they'll sweep out here. So they'll sweep out to it, but around here, and then they'll line up with that top piece that you can see up here. So normally these are like, I'd say like that, lined up with the back of my finger. So we've got that in, and we've done it from about here, moved it inwards all the way down and up to about here, as you can see. There, as you can see, all the little tap marks from where we've been hammering it back. As you can see where it had been rubbing the belt and the nut off of the pulley, and then that's obviously where the back of the pulley's been catching it. So that's why we've took it a bit further back and a bit further forward, knocked it all in. Won't take no strength out of it, we're just literally knocking this piece and this bend just a bit further in, which should have been done in the first place. So what I'm going to be doing with that is I'll be sanding it back, etch priming it up, priming it, stick some hardened blue and some clear coat over it just to make it look a bit more tidier, to match the rest of it. So, because obviously I don't want no metal corrosion or all like that, so as I say, that's going to be getting all redone, so it's nice and smart. So yeah, let's just check, just double check. Just put that there. That needs to stay on because that goes behind it. I don't think there's no right way or wrong way that you can put these on, but that should just, yep, perfect. That is absolutely fine. And then stick that bolt on there. Just nip it up a bit, just a tiny bit. And as you can see, we've got a set of nice brand new pulley there, and we're not going to have no issues at all with that. That seems spot on. Right, so that's on, that's nipped up. I'll tighten it up after. I'll just leave it a bit loose so I know. Just leave it like that so then I know when I'm coming to put the belt on that I need to tighten it. But my main concentration is I'm going to be masking this off, sanding it back, painting that, and then whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to be sticking the alternator in, which bolts on. I'll just get my light on. Which literally bolts on. We've got, we're a bit zoomed in here. Bolts onto this here, so it sits in between here and this one. As you can see, we've got the manifold off as well. Got a new gasket on order that's been stopped at Dover. So we ordered another one as well, just in case that doesn't turn up. We've ordered that from Neo Brothers. And we've got a new starter motor because the bearing had collapsed on that as well. So new starter motor is going to be going on as well. We had the alternator bench tested, and that was pushing on low revolutions 13.8, on high it was pushing 14.2, so that's perfect. That's working perfectly. We bench tested the starter motor. We found it would turn, but it'd lock up every now and then, and it sounded like the bearing had collapsed inside. So I'm going to try, the wind's picking up a bit now, I'm going to try my best and get what I can done, and obviously when I get a bit further I'll show you guys the progress. Oh yeah, before we go any further, we also found this. That was on the back of the alternator. I've already recorded a video as I was dismantling it, but I thought I'd just show you a bit more in depth. So we've basically got about, what I'd say tops about 12 wires left going on power to alternator. So that might have been the charging issue. It might not have been charging a battery. So even though the alternator was working fine, there's not enough strands of wire there to push the full amount of power that it would need. So I've got a new full line, or I've got a connector, so I can literally take this back a bit, open it up, recrimp it, which is probably what I am going to do. And then I just need to stick the other earths and for the switch mechanism, plug them back in, and they'll be good to go. Then it's just a case of getting the manifold, putting the belt on, and the new turbo might turn up, so whilst it's apart I might just think, fuck it, might as well throw it on whilst it's apart, so I don't have to take all the coolant radiator back off. That's a straight bolt on part, so it's looking like I might end up sticking the turbo on, which is I don't know, I can't really say it, but I think it's a Rishi TDO4HL 19T 7 to 7 centimetre housing, which is supposed to be good for just a bit over 400 horsepower. So at minimum we should be 350, 380, and obviously once I get a decent exhaust and injectors we could be anywhere 380, 400, 420. I have seen some people running 400s just over. I've seen someone push, last one I've seen, I think it were about 415, and a good smart amount of foot-pound. In a car like this, me holding at 300, that would fuck it were an animal. Literally fourth gear, it was fucking lighting tyres up when I didn't have decent tyres on. So yeah, it's gonna be a good build, is this. I've pulled it apart, I've had to start again, Anna, so I might as well put a bit of money into it, make it right. As I say, anything that I find, it's getting replaced with good parts as well. No cheap parts. It's getting like good parts. It's having good parts put on it. So I'm gonna make sure that it's right. You know what I mean? Not no fucking bodged up shit no more. So yeah, gonna crack on with it, guys, and I'll get back to you. Snow ain't gonna stop me, lads. Look at me, I've got my little tent around me and everything. It's snowing a lot. It's snowing and raining, and wind keeps coming in and pushing it onto me and attacking me. But you know what? I will get this fucking car done. Right, so I'm just gonna show you what I've got on with. So I've got the main power wire off that was frayed that I showed you earlier. That runs between the alternator, the starter, and then up to the battery. All of that seems pretty fucked, so I just ripped it out to have a good look over it. But the alternator is in. I'm guessing this is the oil pressure, but that's in. And the starter motor is on and plugged in. We just need to get the power wire between the starter and the alternator, and yeah, the wind's picking up. Also we've got that pulley on. Obviously that wire, he routed it wrong, so it was rubbing through onto the pulley. See if I can show you. Can see it there. Some of the wires are at the back that are frayed, so I'm going to reroute this up through there, and that'll bring them up through this bit here, out of the way. I'll cable tie them up onto here, and have marked also indicator top, indicator below, main beam basically. And then side light, marked them up, because obviously I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it or I'm not going to be doing it, so I just want to mark everything up just in case I don't get round and it starts pissing it down. So then when I come back I know exactly what I need to do. So I'm going to try reroute them now, and then try get them plugged in, and then I'm going to start sanding that back, masking it all up, and then prime it. So the turbo has finally arrived. As you can see, it's already open. We've had it out just to make sure that everything was there. I don't even know how you say it. Arashi. They're supposed to be really good turbos anyway, and I like how it came with a few little extras. So they've sent this keyring, Arashi Dynamics, with a little Chinese logo and turbo on back. That's pretty neat. They've sent a little fridge magnet, or for like a toolbox, just to say that it's handcrafted. And then we also got some stickers, which we can stick them under the bonnet or on the windows or wherever. And then you got this little thank you, with a little thank you for buying the product, etc, etc, with the serial number, and it's like a, when I can get it off, it's like a proper metal card, which is such just nice touches when I drop shit everywhere. So I'll just pull this bad boy out, and it was well packed as well. I mean, it came in this box and then it was stapled, and it came in another box, which is, I can't, 1 minute I'll get it out. So this is the box that was inside of a box that was in another box of another box. So yeah, it's not coming like a cheap box, it's fully inked up with the turbo and whatever else. So I'll just take all this foam out and Kim had a little laugh at this because it's got like a little calendar when I can get that out. So I might put that up in my garage. 2021. Alt turbos and that. And then obviously you've got your little caution of installing, making sure your oil inlets and outlets are in the right place. We've got all the, I'll say now, probably all of them. There might be a few missing or whatever, but you get the gasket, and I haven't really opened this yet. I'll have a look when it comes to it, but it comes with all the line feeds, banjo bolts, braided lines. As you can see, there's literally all sorts in here. So we should have everything that we need to bolt this straight up. So we'll get to the main part. Oh no, actually there's this. So there's all the different wastegate springs, or actuator springs, and then you've got the like a coilover spring adjuster. It lets you adjust how strong you want the spring to spring back basically. And this is what I mean, just all the little extras that you wouldn't get with a normal turbo. That's what as fridge magnet came in. We were a bit confused because obviously that would just sat like that. And we're like, what's this? And then we opened it up and obviously that fridge magnet was in it. So attention to detail. And then when I pull the turbo out, I mean, it's really good quality. It's like all the nice little touches. So it's got that laser printed on Arashi, and then obviously we've got Arashi Dynamics, and then the serial code, and then obviously what spec it is. So it's a TD04 HL19T7, which is a -7, so that stands for a 7cm housing. And then also this is the upgraded actuator that they're doing. This is fully adjustable. That's what that little thing is to twist it, change spring inside this. And then you've got this just to mark that it's a genuine part, so that's tagged onto it. But yeah, it's really nice. Check torque plate and shaft obviously, if not it can go back, but it all seems fine, and I've had it up to the car and it'll bolt straight up, so that's just going to bolt in. All oil and return feed seems to be in right place for how it'll sit on manifold. So yeah, it's looking good. So I'm going to leave it at that, and then we'll carry on with whatever part is next. What's happening, guys? So we're on the following weekend. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be painting a few bits, just going to take my time. It's like -2. We've had a load of snow and ice over the last couple of days, so it's not really the best time to be painting outside. So I'm just going to take my time. So obviously these mounts are like a creamy white colour. Don't want that. I don't want them to stand out as much, so I'm going to sand them back and give them a quick spray with this matte black. And then I'm going to go to the CORSA, sand that leg back that I've smashed life out of, just to knock it back to give me a bit of room for the pulleys, because that hasn't been done. So I'm going to sand that back, prime it up, etch prime it up so we don't get no rust, and then colour code it to base, so then obviously it just looks a bit neater, a bit better than what it was. So yeah, let's get on with it. So I've just give them a first coat. Well, I'll give them a really light coat, and then I've given them another light coat on top. So as you can see, looks a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave these to dry a bit longer, and then I'll give them a thicker coat, and that'll be my final coat. But whilst I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm going to go sand the leg on the Corsa and make a start on that. So I'm going to pull these wires out of the way where I can. Anyway, I'll have to unplug that, just pull that, I need to sort that out. I actually routed these wires a bit better as well. I don't know if I covered it in the last video, still need to sort that a little bit out. But I've actually routed it now the proper way, so around the edge under here. I'll actually tie this to the front bar when I get that back on. I've just tied it up there right that way, bit runs through into there. I'm going to get some rubber outsets around there, which then run to the back, taped it all up so I know where everything's going. All these few are going to reach, but I think the side light and stuff like that, the ones that are just down here, just need to extend them a bit longer, and then they'll reach. But yeah, apart from that, it's going good. So the bit that I'm going to be doing is, obviously when I get all this wiring loom out of the way, I'm going to be doing that bit there. So as you can see, it's made a right mess and knocking it back, so I'm going to be sanding that back, masking it up, and then painting it up. And I also noticed that we've got a leak on the pipe of the assisted power steering, so I'm going to have to wipe this back, undo that Jubilee clip and see if it hasn't been put on correctly, which I'm guessing it hasn't, because that one looks like it's off quite a bit. So I'm going to check that out at some point and see what's happening there before I put it all back together, because it's been leaking pretty bad. You can see it puddle there, so yeah, I'll be checking that out. So I'll just give that a quick sand down, got rid of all the rough edges, what was there. So I'm going to tape up now, and then start priming. So as I've just been sanding that back, another parcel has turned up that got stuck at the border, so we're going to open that up and I'm going to show you that as well. Just get me scissors. Yeah, so we ordered this. We ordered this, which is a debadged grill of sorts that you can get a debadged one, but then you've got the choice of sticking the Opal badge over the top. Hence why it's got these little ridge marks, but this is a genuine Opal grill, sent from Germany. So what we need to do is we need to now measure this and then order an Opal badge, and then we're probably going to paint that to match the car with the little pink bits. So that's the plan with that, but at least now we've got a genuine front Opel grille. So I've just used the box to cone engine off, and obviously taped all the way up round, all the way around, just to make sure I don't get no overspray. So yeah, just left that to dry for about 15 minutes so far. Gonna give it a bit longer. Give it a quick sand, probably give it another quick primer, and then apply the colour. So as I was going on, I thought I might as well sand a couple of bits back and prime them, and then same along with here, it was looking a bit bubbly, so I sanded that back smooth. Gonna, well, as smooth as I can, gonna etch prime them, leave them to dry, and then paint them up as well. What's happening, guys? So it's the next day from the last clip. Just been doing little bits. I've not even been recording, just literally doing little bits. Been putting it more on Instagram and stuff like that, photos, but I'll just give you a little update and show you what I have been up to and what I am going to be putting on. So I've put some new power wires on from the alternator to the starter, and then I just need to clip this end off and get that up to the battery. All that is now painted up. Obviously we had to smash it in a bit more to give us a bit more clearance. I've got the new pulley on, put the belt on, routed it a bit better, because how it was before, it was coming up from the crank. As you can tell, it's a bit windy, that's why I haven't been recording much. It was coming up from the crank round here and round. Now the problem is, you can see here where it's been, the belt was rubbing into it before, and obviously the belt of the other one was all rubbed on this side and the inner side, so that's probably why. So I've routed that round, and then got more grab onto the water pump, onto the power steering pump, back down onto this roller, back up to the pulley, and then alternator back into tensioner. So I think that might be a better option, and it might give me a bit more clearance as well. So we'll see how that goes. I have also painted all this, looks a bit more fresher, because all this where he's cut it, it were all exposed metal, and I've just been sanding this back because it was all grubby. So I've just etch primed it, sanded it back a few times, kept on doing it. As you can see, there's still a few little bits, so I'll get some 120 grit, start taking it back even more, and then high build it again, and then I'll paint it. But I just wanted to make sure that we're nice and tidy for when it will put together. So what I'm going to do now is, because I've got this gasket, I've cleaned all the old gasket off as steady as I can. We're making sure that I'm not dropping all down there. I've done the same with the manifold, so I'm going to stick that on now, and yeah, get a manifold on. Right, so just a quick update. I ain't really recorded a lot, but I've just been getting on with it, 'cause my weekends are tight at the minute with work and that, so yeah, all that's done. All that now is rust free. Took some good time with it, just clear coated it, just need to take that tape off and then it'll be done. The mounts are on both sides, as you can see. Sorted the power steering leak. He hadn't tightened that up fully, so it had pissed everywhere. So yeah, power steering's not gonna leak. Mounts are on, looks nice and tidy, fits perfect as well. It's not catching anywhere. They're Loctited on. Mounts on that side are freshened up and tightened, or should I say the rubber solid mounts. So it's just a case of getting the front mounts on next time. And the inlet manifold gasket was wrong, so that's not on yet. I've just ordered a thermal one from SAS, so hopefully that'll be here soon. So unfortunately, that again is that I can't do no. As I say, I keep going to do stuff and something just pops up. The plan is next. Well, I'm gonna have to leave it now till next weekend. With work and stuff like that. Me being an essential worker, yeah, we're in lockdown, but I ain't been furloughed since first one. So unfortunately now it's gonna have to be left until next weekend, and this is what's taking me so long. I mean, in total now I've probably spent, what, I'd say I've spent a total of, if I take, because some of them have been half days, so if we to put them into full days, I've probably spent so far about 4 or 5 full days, which it shouldn't have, but it's just been because the time of year, so Christmas and New Year, delay on parts, and silly shit that keeps popping up it's just been done wrong. So yeah, I'll see you on the next part. Yo guys, what is happening? So it's now, fucking hell, how long's it been since last clip? Just over a week again. I've got a week off work now, so I'm gonna try get this done. We have got some snow forecast to come, so I'm gonna try get what I can done, plugged in, and then at least get it started or running on the road. We'll see how far we get, but I'm gonna show you what I've done on a few of the nights that I've finished early. I've had some daylight and what I did the other day. So the wind's pretty bad, but hopefully you can hear me. But the solid mounts are in, they're all Loctited. The engine mounts are in on both sides. They've got Loctite on, you know, like you're supposed to. But yeah, they're in, nice bright and pink. But yeah, if you look at the clearances now, like literally there was not a lot of clearance between these bolts and the water pump. And if you look here, this is where the big difference is from where we knocked the arm in. Before I couldn't even get my little finger in between it, and now I can get my full finger in between it all. So we've got quite a bit of clearance there now compared to before, and as you can see, you can't really tell that we've knocked it back into shape the good old body style way. So yeah, that's where it's at the minute. So what I'm going to do is, I've got all the clips and stuff in a little tub, so I'm going to start now pulling the wiring loom. Got his throttle cable, pull that to the side. Yeah, there's wiring loom. So I'm going to start piecing all this together now, pull all this just to the side as map sensor and stuff. Just leave that for the time being, I'll sort that out after. But yeah, I'm going to start piecing this loom together and then I'll get back to you. So before I start plugging it in, it looks like it's an ELV tidy loom. So as you can see, it's got coil pack, lomber sensor, crank sensor, injector for coolant temp, air intake, top hat, throttle position, injector 3, injector 2, idle control valve, and injector 1. So it's all labelled, so I just need to piece it together. so as I'm trying to show you what I'm doing as I'm going through it, I've just got the injector 1 and 2 plugs on, and they've got this little metal clip around them just to hold them in. So I thought, whilst I'm doing it, I might as well show you if you've never done it before. So if you're going to undo them, you just want to get a flathead in this gap here, pull this clip off, just get it in there, pull it back, and then your injector loom should literally just lift off. When you go to put it on, the easiest thing to do, instead of putting the plug on and then trying to squeeze this little clip on, the best way to do it is, got my injector free there, best thing to do is push this metal clip onto here like so. So you want to clip it on like this, so you've got the little metal tabs sticking inwards. They're what is going to be holding the injector lead onto the injector. The easiest way to know which round you put in this, if you look at the top, it's got an indent groove. If you look on top of the injector, it's got the little indent groove. It'll only go on one way, so if you look there at the top, that's going to come closest to me, and if you look down there on top of the injector, that's closest to me. So you want to make sure that you've got your clip on, and then all you have to do then is literally just push it down onto it, and you should hear a click, and there you go, that's nice and tight, and that's on there. Right, so that's all of the wires now plugged in. Everything is plugged in where it needs to be. It's not looking the neatest at the minute, but I can tidy that up after. I just want to make sure that it's running and we've got a charging circuit. If not, then it's no bother to me. I'll just fucking get another loom and just throw that in, no biggie. Got the new power wire in properly, not just fucking bolted to the top of it. We've got a new battery here, so we're going to throw that in. We're going to disconnect the coil pack, and I'm just going to prime it over, see if we get any leaks coming out of the injectors, because we don't want no fires. Once that's clear and I think it's all primed up properly, I'll put coil pack in and then give it a start. Obviously we haven't got the radiator and everything else on yet, so I won't be running it for long, just to make sure that it's going to tick over and idle okay, or somewhat, and then we know that it's now there. So everything's on, the battery's connected. We're not quite sure yet if this new battery's got any charge in it at all. We've primed it up a couple of times to see if the injectors are leaking. They're not. Everything looks to be out of the way, exhaust side and etc. So try it. Go on then. Well, she starts. First turn.
I'm so happy.
Right then.
There was no struggling whatsoever.
No struggling at all.
It nearly fucking went on the fire and fully turned.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
At least it's turned off as well, that's a fucking plus.
yeah, I'm so happy.
But all that'll have been is because it's only primed so much, it'll have been running lean, so it'll have been pushing fuel through. But she's started straight up. No bad smoke or out, just a little puff. So what I'll do now is I'll just have a little look, see if there's any leaks out of the injectors again. And it's looking like we are dry. So right, I know what I'm going to do. there we have it. It's started idling a bit better, and yeah, we seem good. Seem good. So as you remember, this was hanging loose on a T7 APC, and it had cut through it all into the two wires. It had started fraying the wires and they was both touching. Luckily that is still ticking as it should, or clicking when it started, so I've cut that back, put some fresh wire in, new connectors as you can see where it's just a bit thicker there, and then retaped it nice and tight, made it a bit longer so I can route this all the way up on the inside of the leg, and then under here out of the way, round the front with the light loom, and then tuck it up around here, and not over top, on top of a pulley. I'm going to pull all these tightly together, tape them up, make them look a bit more tidy, and then obviously just leave them to hang there. As I say, this is going to get tucked somewhere under there, or I think there's a little crevice down there that you can run it down leg, so I'll figure that out. But as I say, this, I'm just going to tape this up, just make it look a bit more tidier, probably get another bolt or something through into there, just so it ain't loose because it's not actually bolted into anything at the minute. So yeah, that's all taped up now, looks a lot better. So yeah, as I say, I just need to get this tucked now, get it tucked right under there, all the way under, and then run it under there, along with this ABS wire. Still need to rewire that in because the speed signal sensor hasn't been wired in right, so that's going to get sorted as well. I'll run that across the loom and then down here along with the APC wire, so it's nice and tidy out at way. Jesus Christ, is that loud? So yeah, that's where we're up to. She's started. Part 2 is probably going to be obviously putting all the intercooler on, radiator, pipes, gear linkage, get it back onto its wheels, and we'll go from there. So that's going to be part 2. Make sure you stay tuned, make sure you keep watching, like, comment, subscribe, press the bell icon, press the bell icon and set it to all notifications, and it'll alert you when I upload the part 2. So yeah, stay tuned guys, thanks for watching.